calling my top competition was my best marketing strategy, and I'll tell you why and how I did it right now. So in my first year of business, I was kind of on the struggle bus a little bit. I wasn't from here. I'm out in Oregon. I moved here from California. I didn't know anybody. I had zero contacts. I didn't know anybody. So needless to say, the business was a little bit harder to start. All I had was a little bit of money in my pocket and just some good willpower. So um, basically, I was about a year in. I was at the welding supply shop that I normally get my stuff from, and they kind of knew that I was in this struggle because I would tell them like, oh, I'm having trouble finding work. I'm not making enough money. Blah blah blah. They said, why don't you call this guy? This guy happened to be my main competition, the exact same business I was in, the same equipment, basically just a mobile welding business straight up. He had been here, for a long time. Um, so I sat on it for a few weeks. I was at the motocross track one day, and I just happened to, you know what, I'm gonna call this guy. So I called him. He answers the phone. I introduce myself. I say, hey, I am basically your competition. I'm another mobile welder out here in the area, the same exact area, like literally right down the road from him. And just told him my situation, and he basically turned out to be one of the coolest guys ever, and super helpful. And my business then was able to start to grow from there because of him, literally because of him. So yeah, we got to chatting. We had a lot in common. There's no one like another competitor that's gonna know what you're going through. They have been through it. They're doing it. They know exactly what you're feeling, what you're going through. They probably went through the same things themselves. So it's the perfect person to talk to. Some of them might tell you to go kick rocks. I was super nervous calling them, obviously, because I'm like, this is my competition. Is it? Am I being? Is this weird for me to call him? Is he gonna chew me out? Is he gonna tell me to kick rocks or get out of my area? Complete opposite. This guy was super helpful, and you know, 10 years later, we're still really good friends. I go to family gatherings with him. We exchange work all the time. Um, we back each other up, and then we've actually built quite a little network of welders in our area. I think there's 6 of us now in this area that we all talk to each other and communicate. When someone needs something, you can call any one of these guys, and they'll help you out. If he needs extra hands, he's a little bit bigger than I am, a little, so he's always busy. Sometimes he needs help. He'll call me, hey, I need some hands, or I can't handle this job. Can you take care of it for me? Stuff like that. That really can bring you in a lot of work. We ended up even riding together. Turns out he one of the things that really brought us together when we first started talking was he rode dirt bikes growing up, and I was currently at the motocross track when I talked to him, and he's like, you can hear the bikes in the background, and he's like, where are you at right now? I'm like, I'm on Albany MX. This is a motocross track local to here, and he's like, oh no way, I used to ride. He was like super excited, and he ended up buying a dirt bike so he can come ride with me. So he had the cash, and he just went out and bought a. It was funny. He bought a trail bike for the motocross track. He bought a Beta like 450 or 460 or whatever it was, and total wrong bike. But he shows up, a couple weeks later with his new bike, and we started riding together, and it's been a great friendship and a great business um, relationship too ever since. I mean, 10 years later, we're still working together. When you're dealing with these guys, you want to give as much of yourself as you can. You give to get back. And one example is, and this was last year, late last year. I had a cruise scheduled with my wife, which I was reluctant to go on a cruise. I'm just not interested. But I finally, she finally convinced me to go on one with her. So we had this cruise plan for the whole year. We already paid for everything. All of a sudden, I get this job working out on a dam up the river from us. Pretty good job for me. It probably would have been there 4 or 5 days, and the job kept getting pushed closer and closer to my cruise. So I'm like, oh, damn it, I'm not gonna be able to do this job. Um, and finally, they go, okay, we're good to go. Let's do this job. And I'm like, I'm going on a cruise literally in 2 days. I got 2 days to finish this job. Basically, the guy was like, there's no way you're gonna finish this job in 2 days. We were basically we're extending a mountain road by like 4 feet out of metal, so they can drive this crane up on the road to support the crane so it wouldn't fall off the edge of the cliff while they put boulders in the river. They're like doing something with the water. So I'm like, I got 2 days. There's no way I could do it. Can I let me come for the first 2 days? I'll set everything up for my other guy. Basically, my other guy was got some notes here. Basically, my other guy was the other company, my competition. But I was straight up, hey, I got another guy, another business that we help each other all the time. I'll be here for the first 2 days, and then this guy will take over for you. So, and he was fine with that. I was like, this guy will bill you directly. So I give my competitor a call. I tell him I'm charging 160 bucks an hour, which he was okay with. He's around this. We usually around the same rates because that's one of the things that we discuss. Hey, if I'm raising my rates, you should probably raise your rates too. So we're not like undercutting each other. We don't really like to bid against each other. Sometimes it happens, but it's not a big deal. I'm just usually like, hey, Chris, take it. Um, so basically, I call Chris and I hand him $5,000 right there. Like, here's 5 grand to do this for 2 days. Because I know he's probably going to be about 2,500 bucks a day with his guy, with him and another guy. So we charge by the hour per man hour. So he's got 2 guys with him. It's going to take him 2 days to finish up what I did. So basically, here's 5 grand. Can you take care of this for me? And he's like, well, of course. And I know he was busy, so it wasn't like easy for him to do that. But he's basically helping me keep my promise to this company. Also, he's gonna make some money, so it's a good thing. And he's always giving me work. I've always tried to help him whenever I can. I don't really help him with too much work because he's so busy. What I'll help him with is labor. If he needs some extra hands, I'll run over there. I'm not as busy as him, so it's just a really good working relationship. And then, so I just got off the phone with him, and he's got these. And this is the kind of work I run into a lot out here. There's a old handrail at apartment complex that they built them too far apart, so they're about 5 3/8 inches, I believe. I just measured them, and they need to be less than 4 inches. So basically, they want pickets added in between each picket. So, and I've done stuff like this before. We've all done stuff like this before. It's a pretty common problem, especially out here with these older apartment buildings. They're just grandfathered in, and once the insurance kind of gets wind of what's going on at the apartment complex, or they have an accident, they come and go, hey, you guys need to fix this, this, and this. And the handrails are always one of those things. Go to your local apartment complexes, measure the pickets, and then offer your service. Like, hey, I can bring your handrails up to code. So definitely good jobs. They suck, but they're good. So basically, he calls me, and he's stuck out in Eugene, which is a couple hours south of us, and he's been there for a couple months, him and his guy. He doesn't have time for anything right now. So he gets this call from these apartment complexes. It's 2 or 3 buildings, I believe, 2 or 3 different complexes. The one I went to today had 500 pickets that need to be installed. So we're kind of thinking of different ways to do it, but he's thinking 15 to 20 grand, and he's just gonna pass it on to me if they want to go ahead and do it, which they're gonna have to do it. So you give and you get. So I gave him a job. He'll call me back once in a while with a job like this, where I'm like, 15 grand, I'll do it for 10, But of course, if I was bidding it, I would be around where he was at. But yeah, I mean, it's awesome to have another company have your back. Like I said, he's always busy. He doesn't always have time, for the smaller jobs like the stuff that I handle. And he'll call me. He said, "Can you go do this?" And I'm like, "Heck yeah, let's do it." So all that just to say, don't be afraid to call your competition. They can be a really big asset to your business. Some of them might tell you to kick rocks. Just call another one and just tell them, hey, I just started, and I could really use some advice, some help, and maybe even some work. So, or if there's stuff that you don't have experience with, and you know that they might be doing some of that, just call them. Hey, can I help you out on this job? Maybe even just go do it for free. Just help them out. They'll really appreciate that, and most likely they're going to return the favor. So don't be afraid to call your competition. It's been a huge part of my business. Me and him have traded work several times. I've also traded work with several other guys, and I know he has too. So it's it's a good thing. It'll really help you get going and make sure that you have some backup in your corner, especially if you're like me where you started a business in a different state and you're just kind of going for it. So thank you for watching. Check out some more of my videos, like and subscribe, and I will talk to you guys next time.